So sorry if this is fuzzy or not very good quality. I'm doing what I can with what I got, okay? So today, you are going to learn how to corroborate evidence, okay? So this lesson is about the skill of corroboration. Corroboration is the act of comparing pieces of evidence and seeing where they agree and disagree. When you have multiple pieces of evidence that say the same thing, your argument is stronger. When you only have one perspective on an event, you risk that it might be incomplete or maybe even wrong. So historians corroborate evidence when they try to figure out what happened in the past. If they find multiple pieces of evidence that support their initial hunch, then their case becomes stronger. If they can't find enough evidence to support a particular argument about what happened in the past, they consider other explanations or interpretations. So because the goal of corroboration is to build a strong argument, it also involves sourcing. You want to source for two reasons. One, you want each piece of evidence to be reliable. They need to be trustworthy, okay? And two, you want to see if people with different perspectives agree about what happened. It's always more convincing when two people who usually disagree actually agree. For example, a famous painting of the Battle of Lexington shows the American colonists standing their ground and fighting while the British fired on them. If you read the primary sources about the event, the Americans say the British fired first, and the British say the Americans fired first. So they disagree about who shot first. But both say the colonists scattered and ran away once the shooting started. So although we might not know who shot first, we can say with some confidence the colonists did not stand their ground despite the portrayal in the painting, because both sides agree on that point. So we're going to practice corroboration today with two examples. So I think Mr. Swaggerty is going to hand out the Make Your Case handout. So he can pause the video here. Okay, so in front of you, you should have something that says Make Your Case up at the top. I'm moving it over here so I can see it. And it says, for each of the scenarios below, explain how each piece of evidence corroborates the initial or first account. Then choose the piece of evidence that would make a stronger case and explain your selection. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'm going to let you try your hand by yourself with scenario B. Okay? So it says, scenario A, on the night before the big game between your school's team, the Panthers, and your biggest rivals, the Bears locker room was vandalized. Maybe they TP'd it or spray painted it. Many of the players from the Bears are accusing members of your team of committing the vandalism. And the Panthers say they couldn't have vandalized the locker room because they were all out for pizza when the locker room was raided. So here's two more accounts or testimony if there was a trial. Account A is a statement by the Panther quarterback's older sister saying that she drove them to the pizza place on the night the locker room was vandalized. Okay, so now let's consider the source. The Panthers are being accused of vandalism, and then the older sister of the quarterback says that, well, they couldn't have done it because I drove them to the pizza place on that night. So it totally wasn't them. Okay, so the source is kind of questionable, even though it's the older sister. Maybe she's sticking up for her brother and the team. However, let's take a look at account B, the statement from the Bears running back. So the team whose locker room was vandalized, he said that he saw the Panthers at the pizza place the night the locker room was vandalized. So because he is usually on the, would be considered on the opposite side, he also is confirming or corroborating what the older sister said. Okay, so even though she was questionable, we now can say maybe for sure she actually did drive them because the Bears running back saw them at the pizza place. Okay, so for question 1, and you can write this down. So how do both account A and account B corroborate the Panthers account? They both say the same thing, that they were both at the pizza place. Pizza place, pizza place, okay? So they both say the same thing. They're corroborating each other's statement. Now, here's the next question that you really need to think about. Which of the 2 pieces of testimony would make their case stronger? Hopefully you're thinking B, because the Bears running back is on the side of the locker room that was vandalized. So in most cases there would be a disagreement, but actually they agree. So here you would put something like, because B is stronger because the Bears running back is the one who saw them at the pizza place as well, and he's on the opposite team, which normally wouldn't have happened. All right, so I'm going to make this smaller. That is how you corroborate. You're looking at the sources and consider if they are reliable or not. So this one was iffy until we had confirmation or corroboration that what she said was true. Okay? All right. So now on your own, you get to check out scenario B. Okay? So it says, you are a principal who is trying to figure out the truth about a lunchroom fight. The fight was between Justin and Max. And Justin is a new student, and he is shy and doesn't have many friends, but Max is a popular student who's known for his friendliness. And so you have 3 accounts here, and you have to make sense of it. Now think about the source and what they're saying about each other. Now I want you to try this on your own, okay? And I may come back later and go back over it with you, okay? All right, good luck.